What is up YouTube, Paul James here, and welcome to this video. Now, before you jump to conclusions about what I'm going to talk about with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, because I know it's a hot topic, people are very, very passionate about it, please hear me out because it might not be what you think it is initially just by reading the title and thumbnail of this video. And also just a quick disclaimer, I'm not some financial expert. I'm just a guy giving my opinion on YouTube, so take this with a grain of salt and as it is. It's just my opinion. Now, the truth of the matter is I've actually been an early adapter of cryptocurrency. I mean, especially Bitcoin. I wish I would have got in even earlier on it. I actually don't have much Bitcoin right now at all. I sold all mine a while ago, which I wish I would have held on to given that we're seeing such a peak of it. But I did get in pretty early when it was around $100 per Bitcoin, which would have been worth a lot of money right now with the amount that I had. And I held on to it. This was way back a long time ago, years ago. I held on to it and I ended up selling at around like $1,500 a Bitcoin, which at the time was pretty insane. I do have quite a bit of experience with Bitcoin, which is why I do want to break down why I think you shouldn't buy Bitcoin, at least for right now. And in addition to Bitcoin, I also invest in a lot of other things, which is why I kind of get to see different sides of the equation from an investment standpoint. Like right now, I'm in an investment property, so I invest in real estate. And I also invest in the stock market, which is something newer I started doing at the beginning of last year. And I've learned a lot throughout the process, especially seeing how markets work. And that's just kind of what's also helped me form my opinion here. Now, over the last, I guess, week, we've seen Bitcoin peak at over $40,000 per Bitcoin, which is absolutely insane. And with that huge price jump, I have just had tons and tons and tons of people asking me, Paul, what do you think about Bitcoin? So that's why I wanted to shoot this video, not only to give you my thoughts about Bitcoin, but just cryptocurrency in general, and if I think it's worth you investing in. And judging by the title of this video, you probably already know my answer on that, but I do want to explain why and tell you kind of the good and bad. Now, every time there's a huge overreaction in price when it comes to Bitcoin, people start to get really excited about it. You start to see your Facebook wall blow up. People are constantly like saying, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. They're talking about the all-time highs. People get really excited about it. People who never really have heard of Bitcoin before or who don't really think much of it start to wonder what they should do, if they should invest in it. I even saw on my way down to Florida here, I traveled down to Florida to my investment property because we're doing some stuff here, and I noticed even on the news, they are now showing a Bitcoin ticker on the news, which years ago was something that was unheard of, to see it like a Bitcoin ticker, because people were so against Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. And I mean, they were afraid of it and they had valid concerns, some of the concerns which are still very valid and I'll talk about here today. Now, before we talk about if you should not buy Bitcoin, we have to talk about timing, and we have to talk about why we're seeing such an overreaction in the price in Bitcoin. Now, the first thing that I'll say is a lot of it, I think, has to do with overspending in the economy and like in our government. We're seeing stimulus money being handed out, and we're seeing just lots of spending going on, and what that's causing is it's causing people to fear the value of the dollar or other currency, right? So what people do is they take their money and they put it in something else. And in this case, we're seeing it go into Bitcoin, which is part of the reason why we're seeing all-time highs right now, I think. But there's also another factor at play here. And just from me having experience in seeing this happen before in the past, I know that every time I've seen a run-up like this, the timing is impeccable. It's almost always at the beginning of a new year, like we're seeing right now. The timing, again, it's just always at this same time every single year, which leads me into my next point, and that is every time that we see this price increase happen, go back, I think it skipped a year or two, so go back 2 or 3 years of the Bitcoin chart and look at it. Every time we see a spike, we see an equally hard fall off after. So Bitcoins go to an all-time high and then they crash way down, and people lose a lot of money. What happens is the excitement kicks in. They see all their friends talking about Bitcoin, posting about it on Facebook. They see the news start to talk about it, and they buy in at an all-time high or close to an all-time high, and they hold on to it, and they hold on to it too long, and then all of a sudden it goes and it crashes down and bottoms out, and then instead of holding on to it for maybe a couple years, because if they would have done that, we'd probably see another all-time high eventually, and you would have made money, and in that case it would have been good to buy it. But what usually ends up happening is fear kicks in and they end up selling it, and they end up taking a major loss because they were inexperienced with the cycle of investing, but especially the cycle of investing in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So I know many people out there that maybe haven't seen this video or who are thinking about buying Bitcoin are going to buy it without knowing this, and this same cycle is going to happen to them, and they're going to lose a ton of money. And for those people, that's why I'm making this video, and that's why I say you should not buy Bitcoin. If you buy Bitcoin now, you're almost guaranteed to lose, or any cryptocurrency for that matter, unless you're planning on holding it long term, and that's the caveat. And that's why I said when I started this video too, if you're thinking like you're gonna hate on this video or whatever, that's why I said to hear it out, because if you're gonna sit on it for a long time, then you're probably safe. In my opinion, of course, you're probably safe. But what I would suggest you do instead is, why not wait for this big crash that's inevitably gonna come? I mean, I bet we'll see Bitcoin go under $15,000, maybe even lower. It's hard to say. But look historically at the charts. Look historically at the charts at this time, and then see where it's at, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7 months from this time in the past, and see what it does. Because you can kind of historically predict, based on what it does in the past, what it's likely to do in the future. And in my opinion, it's not a good time to buy right now while it's at an all-time high. And the other caveat to that is, how excited are you going to be to buy Bitcoin when it does crash? Because most people don't get too excited about future gain. They forget about it. When it's low, no one's gonna be talking about it anymore. Are you still going to be as excited about it? Maybe you will be, and if you are, I guess that would be pretty smart. Most people aren't going to get excited about it because it's just human nature. It's how our brain operates. We want to get in while it's exciting, while it's at an all-time high. But I advise you against that. Do not do that. So with that being said, now that you know when you should buy or if you shouldn't buy or all of that stuff, and you do decide to buy, I will leave you with another kind of sort of final advice, and that is, pick your exchanges carefully, because over the years, I have seen dozens of exchanges get shut down. People leave their money in them. They have cryptocurrency being held in these exchanges, and the exchanges get hacked. They go out of business. Something happens with the founders, and everyone loses out big time on all of their money. Okay, that's the scary part about cryptocurrency. So pick your exchanges very carefully. Go with ones that are very reputable. I don't want to say too much about that, because again, I've seen some exchanges that I thought were the biggest exchanges go out of business or get hacked, or people just lose everything in them. So pick them carefully, do your research, do your due diligence. As far as other cryptocurrencies are concerned, again, I mean, we just see a cycle where cryptocurrencies go up. I would say the major two cryptocurrencies are Bitcoin, which is going to be like the most stable thing if you're going to invest. Ethereum is also a really good choice if you just want something really safe. Ethereum is probably a safe choice because most of the other stuff out there, other coins, are built off of Ethereum. So I think it's just a safe choice in general, and maybe even bigger growth potential in the future, because it just does have so much backing there. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this video there, and I want you to share this video with a friend if you've seen anyone talking about Bitcoin or who doesn't know much about it, or cryptocurrency in general. You might want to send this video to them. Leave me a comment below if this video helped you. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I've got some cool videos coming out in a few days you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you subscribe, take the bell notification icon, like the video, it really helps out. And again, my advice is, Bitcoin's a great investment if you're going to hold on to it long term, but I would probably wait until it crashes again, because you can look at the history, it's probably going to do that. And just wait it out. Wait till it crashes again. If you're still as excited about it as you are right now, then yeah, I mean, no harm there. You probably are gonna get in at a lower price. Or if you do want to get in right now because you feel like you're missing out, get in knowing that it's probably gonna crash again, and plan on holding it for like 5 years, because that's probably how long it's going to take before we see all-time highs again. That's just my thoughts, my opinions based on past experience. Take it for what it is, but I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in another one. I am Paul James. Peace out.